Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. We will now proceed with the second session of the day. For this session, we are honored to have Professor Joydeep Barua sir with us. Sir will be speaking on tools to analyze qualitative data. Professor Joydeep Barua is currently a professor and director of Surya Kumar Bhuiya School of Social Sciences, Krishnakanta Hondikoi State Open University, Guwahati. Earlier, he was a faculty at OKD Institute of Social Change and Development, Guwahati, for about 2 decades. His broad academic and research interests include political economy of development in general and issues related to poverty, inequality, and human development in particular. His expertise in data analysis, especially in dealing with quantitative data, is widely recognized, and he has been invited to numerous workshops, training programs in research methodology and data analysis as a resource person across the country. Professor Borua is also well known for designing and conducting several large-scale surveys for the government of Assam, government of India, and other national and international agencies like UNDP, UNICEF, FHI, etc. He was the principal coordinator and lead author of the Assam Human Development Report 2014, which was published by the government of Assam, Niti Aayog, and UNDP. He was one of the key persons in developing Assam's SDG vision and indicator framework in 2015-16. He received a summer fellowship from the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, University of Oxford in 2015. He is currently serving as a member of the editorial advisory board of the Indian Journal of Human Development. He also served as one of the members of the high-level committee constituted by the government of Assam to revitalize the state's economy in the aftermath of COVID-19 2020. Sir, we are really grateful to have you with us. I extend our warm welcome and kindly request you to start the session. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I'm deeply honored and also pleased to be here with you. And I welcome a large number of participants coming from different parts of the country. And I, on my personal behalf and also from my school and also university, would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who have been here and who have joined us online for this very important workshop. So task that is given to me is to speak on analyzing qualitative data, and time is really, really short, only 1 hour or so. So therefore, we will not waste time. I have divided my lecture into two parts. One part, I will be discussing something about qualitative data and their analysis as a background to keep you on the same page. And then we will try to demonstrate how this is actually done. So there will be one part which is we have a very small PowerPoint presentation. It is already uploaded in LMS. You can have a copy of it. And that will be the background. And then I will use one of the software, which is the easiest one to do. And then I will show you how these analysis can be performed, what are the utilities, and so on and so forth. I think that will give you a kind of a flavor. And we are actually discussing within our school that probably we can have a practical workshop how to use the softwares in doing this qualitative research. Actually, we have a lot of workshops on quantitative part like SPSS, data, R, but we do not get to see a lot of workshops which actually give you some idea that how actually the qualitative analysis is done. So that's the kind of a brief background, and then I will just share the presentation. And when you just say if it is ready, I hope that it is coming. Just confirm me. It is there.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So the title that has been given to me to speak is that tools to analyze qualitative data. So it is not about the theories or philosophy as such. It is basically the tools But before we apply the tools, you need to have the protocols, you need to have the principles, general idea that how these tools will work and how these tools will be giving you meaningful results. So with that brief background, I have a presentation. And this is basically some of the things which will be probably known to you. We have faculty members as well in this group. That may be a little repetitive, but just to have a common background to proceed further, I have put forward certain points. First of all, let us have a very basic understanding of qualitative data. This is very basic, we'll not go into the nuanced discussions of this, but just basic understanding. Generally speaking, qualitative data imply non-numerical data, and that encompasses a large number of data coming in the form of texts, and also text as a document. And to these days, we are also using the internet data coming from social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter. These are also texts or combination of text and images. We do a lot of analysis on that. And then images, maps, sounds, etc. Like voices, this can be automatically transcribed and also analyzed. So text can be coming from different sources. So there's a huge gamut of data which are non-numerical. These are not numbers. And anything which are not numbers can be broadly or loosely classified as qualitative data. Now, if you go to the numbers, then only two processes can generate numbers. All right. The one is called counting, that you have to count how many, then it will throw up numbers. Suppose how many students, you will say 50. So 50 is a number. So counting is an underlying process which will generate numbers. And the second most important part is a measurement. If you try to measure something, then you will get numbers. So there are two processes which will invariably result in numbers: counting and measurement. And we have a theory of measurement in research methodology, which is pretty big subject. We can have a workshop on it, that how to measure those things and what are the different scales, how scales are constructed, how those scales are treated, tested, applied, analyzed. So you have a large body of knowledge which relates to theory of measurement. I'm not going to discuss that either. Just to mention that these are the two processes which will generate numbers: counting and measurement. So anything which cannot be counted or measured will refer to qualitative big data, because this will not produce numbers, something else will come. So this is a methodological consideration, and in the sense that whether the phenomena or thing that I'm going to study can be measured or can be counted. And if I say yes, then we will go for numbers, and then numbers will lead us to quantitative quantification and so on and so forth. And if we say that no, this cannot be measured, then we will try to take a different route. And that is the methodological consideration, I said. And this is actually qualitative. At the same time, we have a theory of quantification, where we will try to quantify some not apparently measurable data to numbers. For instance, suppose many studies will try to quantify, say, happiness. We have an happiness index, we know. So happiness is not readily quantifiable, readily measured, but people have tried to measure that and come up with index. So that is a quantification. So that we have another theory which will try to do that. And this is called theory of quantification, that what are the processes, what are the issues, what are the background. So that's another thing. So I'm not going to discuss that as well. Now, philosophically, it is very important to understand. Philosophically speaking, measurement requires universality of singular reality. All right? Because if measurement has to be valid and measurement has to be reliable, then you need to get the same thing in repeated exercise. Suppose if you measure today, you get different result. If you measure tomorrow, you will get a different result. So if there is no consistency of the results, then it is not the reliable measurement. So measurement has to be consistent in the sense that it will give you the same result in repeated experiments. So there's an underlying philosophy that we believe that there is a singular reality which is universal. And if we take that philosophical position, which is a more or less positivist tradition, then we will be guided by quantitative method. The logic is that if it is a positivist tradition which believes the universality of the singular reality, then measurement is valid, measurement is consistent, and then we can have a quantification, we can try to measure, and then ultimately we get numbers, and then numbers can be treated quantitatively, and that is a broad line of inquiry, which we call quantitative methodology. Now, whereas opposed to this, the qualitative methodology recognizes the plurality of reality, which is contextual, conditioned by various social settings. So it can vary from place to place, situation to situation. So therefore, there is no question of universal singular reality. And therefore, there is no question of measurement. That if it is contextual, then there is no measurement which will take that into consideration. Therefore, we will more or less focused on interpretation or understanding. So these are the two broad methodological positions coming from the question that whether it is measurable or whether it is not measurable. If it is measurable, you get numbers and you have a different line. And if it is non-number, then you have a different line. Now, it is very important to understand that difference is not in the phenomena, but in the perception. For instance, suppose if you go to a class and try to inquire, the how many, that is the counting process, say right-hand side, you will get how many students, you will get number, how many girls, you will get number, how many boys, you get number, how many attended today, that is the, that is the number, how many are good in mathematics, that is the number, so on and so forth. So therefore, how many is a counting process, and with that lens, you are looking at a class. Now, if you have a different lens, not interested in how many, but something else, then the same class will generate the set of data which are not number. All right. For instance, suppose you are looking at the class, that how friendly are the students with each other, how they are civic minded, how they are concerned with environmental concerns, how they are positively spirited. So you will get not numbers. These are different, answers. These are different text maybe, which will come to your, kitty in terms of data observation. And therefore, the class remains same. Only thing is the lens with which you are looking or observing is different. So therefore, if you are looking all the time, how many, measurement, how much, then you will get numbers. But if we just, try to concentrate on other things, then you will get non-number, the observations, which will broadly classify as qualitative data. Now, if you move ahead, then why there is a craze for numbers? Because we have a pretty developed science of numbers, and we have a large number of tools to deal with those numbers. And then we have a statistical tools. We have two disciplines, mathematics and statistics, based on the numbers, science of numbers. So it is a pretty well-developed subject. So therefore, moment we get number, we are very safe because we have a well-developed science of numbers. So we have plenty of tools. For instance, we know how to analyze those numbers, how to get meaning out of those numbers, how to interpret those numbers. So therefore, moment we get number, we are very safe. We feel comfortable because we have a very well-developed science of numbers. And that is why there is a natural tendency towards the quantitative method, quantification. And it actually passed on as a more developed, reliable kind of scientific method. We have large number of tools, measure of central tendency, measure of dispersion, correlation, regression, ANOVA, ANCOVA, factor analysis, so on, etc., etc. So when you have these tools in your menu, then moment you have numbers, then you have a large menu and you can apply those tools. You can select this, okay, I will do ANOVA, I will do regression, I will do correlation. So it allows you the flexibility to adopt any tool, a sophisticated tool, to analyze those data. All right. Only point you need to remember that each of these tools will work only when certain assumptions are fulfilled. All right? And each of these works are purposed for a specific thing. It is a specific utility, not that you apply everything everywhere. So therefore, that's a different thing. I'm not going to discuss that, but just to keep you informed is that these are the things that you have to understand, that what is the tool, why this tool is used, and what are the assumptions under which this tool will give some valid results. So this is one point. Second point, there are a plethora of statistical software which will allow you to do this analysis. For instance, suppose SPSS, Stata, Statistica, MATLAB, R, just to name a few, and there are a lot of other software available. So moment you have numbers, you know what to do, or at least you have a science of numbers telling you what to do. And you are also supported by a lot of statistical software to do quickly, fast analysis. Now, what if, suppose, if you have the qualitative data? Now, this is where we try to enter the subject. When you have qualitative data, that is non-number or non-numeric data, bulk of which will come in the form of open texts, then question is that how do you deal with that? Suppose you have done 100 interviews, and each interview is running into let's say 10 pages. So that means that you are having the data in the form of 200 multiplied by 10, so it is 2,000 pages. Now you need to read those 2,000 pages, interpret those 2,000 pages, and then try to get a meaning at least, or if possible, theorize the findings, and then you need some tools. Now, how do you do it? Well, I mean, if you read good books on qualitative analysis, that will tell you that there are tools which will allow you to use those text data and then get meaning out of it. We cannot have all the tools discussed in this session. Only 1 hour is given. And I just want to refer to, say, suppose two tools. One is called coding, which are most common tool. And another one is called content analysis. And then I will try to explain that how these tools can be used. I will concentrate mainly on coding because time will not permit me to go to content analysis. So coding I will devote, and I will show you how coding is actually done on software, and then how it can be presented, how it can be analyzed, and so on and so forth. So basically, what I mean that just as we have a menu for analyzing qualitative data, number data, coming from the branch of mathematics and statistics, we also have certain tools for analyzing qualitative data. And you can have those tools discussed in standard textbooks, good textbooks. And two most important tools are coding and content analysis. So I will just try to give you a sense that how this works. Last point is very important. It is important to realize that there is no best way to analyze qualitative data. You cannot have a standard based way. It is very flexible. It depends on the person concerned, and the same text will give different meaning or different interpretation if you give to the other person. That is not possible in the number. Suppose if you have a set of numbers, I calculated mean, and I asked somebody else to calculate mean, the answer will same because they're coming from the same philosophical position, the universal singular reality or truth. So it cannot vary. If it varies, then measurement fails. But in qualitative, this is not going to be the case. The text I am trying to interpret, code, will be different. The same text is suppose given to somebody else. He will come up with their own codes and all these things. And that is where the measurement does not work. So there is no best way of analyzing qualitative data. Now, I just given one example taken from one book. I have already uploaded one manual for coding qualitative data, which is a good book. Normally, I follow that. And that book I have already uploaded in LMS. So you can go through it. I have taken this example. Suppose the same text, the left side, the same text is given, that there is just no place in this country for illegal immigrants. Rounded up, send those criminals back to where they come from. This is the kind of an attitude towards immigration. Now, person will have their own kind of theoretical understanding, and this is where theory plays a very important role. And then accordingly, they will try to clone that. Suppose grounded theory, which tries to look into the data and just concentrate on the data and try to build theory on that. So they will, what is the main point? That they do not have a place. Immigrants do not have a place. So that's the attitude. So therefore, if somebody is believing in grounded theory, or at least guided by grounded theory, they will code it as a no place. So this text will be coded as a no place. What is the essence? The no place. If the same text is given to ethnographer, he may not come up with the same code. The same text, he will maybe looking at the different issues coming out of this immigration. So he will just code it as immigration issue. There's an issue, so he will try to understand it. If you try to give it to a person who is guided by critical theory, which tries to have a value of its own, and then the same text will be coded as xenophobia, that we do not have a the soft corner for immigrants. So it resembles a xenophobia. So he will code it as a xenophobia. So text the same. Only thing is that individuals are different, and individuals are guided by different theoretical lenses, and accordingly codes will vary. So that is why the measurement does not work here. So therefore, we need to understand that coding depends on the lenses by which we will try to look at the texts. And based on that, it will be different from individual to individual. All right. So that's the thing. Now, little bit on mechanics of the coding. Since time is very short, I'm not going to discuss large part of it, just to give you some sense. Now, coding, remember that this is not the entire thing. Coding is just one way of analyzing qualitative data, not the way. That is only the only way we can do it. No, we have other methods, but it is definitely one of the most popular or commonly used methods. Within coding, there are different methods. And then each method has different analytical possibilities. It will not give you the same thing. You have to look at the research questions that you want to answer. You have to look at the research objective that you have set forth. And based on that, you have to find out the appropriate method, and with the analytical possibilities, that whether this method is going to answer the research question properly, whether this method is going to at least help or facilitate the reaching or achieving the objectives. So therefore, within the coding as an exercise, there are different methods with different possibilities. You have to align those methods based on the possibilities with the questions and the objectives that you have. Now, this can be applied to all text, transcripts, interview transcript, participant observation notes, journals, field journals, documents, drawing, artifacts, photographs, in images, video. For instance, suppose you are looking at the video and you are trying to observing it. That is how film critique is done. Internet sites, email correspondences, literature, so on and so forth. So you have a large body of qualitative analysis, which is done through coding. Now, just to understand this coding, we have to be very clear what does coding mean. A coding is a short word or short phrase. As I have said, no place, the xenophobia, immigration issue, these are the codes. What it does, it symbolically assigns a summative, silent, essence capturing or evocative attribute to qualitative data, to a paragraph, maybe to a page, to a sentence, particular expression. So if I find that, okay, this expression is telling, it is the essence is this one, or it sums up this way, so that I will use a particular phrase and that I will put a coding. Now, second point is extremely important. The coding is not mere labeling. Suppose in quantitative we do coding. Say illiterate is equal to 1, or male is equal to 1, female is equal to 2. Rural is equal to 1, urban is equal to 2. So it's just labeling. All right. So that's the nominal scale that we deal with in quantitative data. Here, it is not mere labeling. It is actually the link between the data and the possible interpretation. You have two extremes. At one hand, you have the data, and on the other hand, you have the interpretation. So you have to move from data to interpretation. So you need to have a link. So how do you establish the link? Link is the coding. So coding will facilitate your movement from data to interpretation. So it has a much more work to do just than a label. All right. The label coding in quantitative is completely different. Coding in qualitative is completely different. So don't get mixed up here. If you are doing qualitative coding, you have to always think of getting meaning out of it and trying to interpret it so that you move towards a theory. So you have to capture the underlying idea of a text, of a paragraph, of a sentence, of an expression, of a word. So you have to find out what is important. And that is absolutely the researcher who will decide. Now, therefore, this is a very much researcher-generated construct for pattern detection, categorization, theory building, and other analytical processes and purposes. So it's a researcher-generated construct. All right. So that's the understanding of the coding. The most important, then, data observations at one hand and interpretation in the other. And in between, we have series of coding, and we have the different cycles of coding. First, for instance, suppose first cycle, second cycle, third cycle. And then we classify, categorize. I'll show you how to do it. And then finally, we'll move towards broader theories or generalization. That's we call interpretation. So that's the understanding. Now, we have some principles and protocols. Normally, we have a descriptive coding. Suppose this we are reading this paragraph, left side. And normally, right side, we do the coding. This is important because when we do in software, the software follows this protocol. Any software you take, the principles and protocols will be same. That you have a text, you upload the text, and then the right side, you have to code it. Suppose he cares about me, he has never told me, but he does. So that's the one code. Then he is always been there for me, even when my parents were not. So then you are trying to codify those things, and that is done in the right side. Normally, capital letter is used. In some of the softwares, the automatically coding is done. So capital not necessary. That's normally the proper case coding is also done. Now, so these are the codings. All right. Now, when you have coding for patterns, then you can have this kind of situation. For instance, suppose if you look at the right-hand side example, so you have the line up for lunch, managing behavior, line up for lunch. So it is repeating, and the managing behavior is also a part of lining up, or lining up is also a part of managing behavior. So you can actually make that hierarchical, and then you try to find out some pattern also. So that can be done in software as well. So this is one part of the thing. And this, when we say pattern, we look for similarity, dissimilarity, frequency, sequence, correspondence, causation. So these are called patterns in qualitative analysis. If you're looking for this, then we are actually searching for patterns, and trying through pattern, we will try to interpret data and try to build up theories. Now, we have cycles. It is as I have said, that this is a link. So one code may not be sufficient to link adequately the data and the interpretation part. So we might have a series of codes coming from one to another, and that is how it is connected. So therefore, we can have repeated attempts, which we call cycles. So first cycle, some factors are identified. The second cycle, the next layers of coding is done. Third cycle, layers of coding is done. And then we will go to the broader categories, and then we will have the theories. All right, so that's the link. Now, this picture. I will request you kindly to look at it and then try to internalize, because this is the thing that we will try to show in some of the one of the software. So in the left side, you have the text, for instance. Here you will have text, and we will have the quotes. All right, and then one quote can also have subquotes. That is the layering I have already called. And then combining some of the quotes, we will try to make a broader thing, which is called category. And then combining category can also have subcategory. Category will give you themes, concept, and finally, the connecting the concepts, we can have a theory. So if you have a real means the observation side. From observation, we will try to move towards abstract ideas, abstraction, theory building. And this movement is basically from particular to general. So this is the research design we normally talk about. That research design is basically that you have some concept, you then break down those concepts through a personalization, look at the data, observation, and then from observation, again, go back to the abstraction. That is, you contribute to the theory. So this back and forth exercise from real to abstract, particular to general, is also followed in qualitative research design. And this is done through the method of coding. And that is why coding is not only labeling, but also it is a link between this set of observations, some set of text here, and then theory that we try to establish or prove or understand, interpret. So that part is here. So it's more abstract, more general. So this series of exercises done here, and then based on this series of exercise, we will try to make broader concepts, that is categories, concept, themes, and then the theory. And then, of course, that you can also split the codes into subcodes, categories into subcategories. That can be done. And that is based on your requirement. So this picture, you need to internalize before you proceed for coding. Now, you have a lot of computer-aided qualitative data analysis software, CAQ, DAS. It is called computer-aided data analysis software to do this exercise. There plenty of things can be done. Large number of softwares are available. Obviously, I do not know all the softwares. And then there are relative advantages, disadvantages, free, priced kind of thing. So for instance, suppose the answer, this is free software developed by CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. You can try that. I have not tried it. Atlas TI is very popular. It is priced. Hyper Research, Max QDA, and Vivo is very popular, priced. QDA Minor, Walrus, Transna, Weft, then WordStat. WordStat is also very popular. So there are a lot of softwares. So point I'm trying to make is that you need to understand what you are trying to do. Then you have to obtain the right method, like coding, suppose I want to do, and it is aligned to my objectives and research questions. Then how to do coding, you need to understand what coding, how coding is done, mechanics of coding, and how coding can link the observation to the theory building. And then you have to look for some software to facilitate that exercise. So I will try to show you QDA minor, red is given. Why I have chosen the QDA minor? First of all, this QDA minor, QDA minor means qualitative data analysis. QDA, qualitative data analysis. Minor means that there's something underneath it, and we want to mine it out. So we will try to mine qualitative data for interpretation. So that is why the name is given as QDA minor. Why? because it is relatively easy to follow. It has enormous capabilities and utilities. And most importantly, it can also handle some quantitative data. So those who are looking for mixed data, quantitative, a bit of qualitative, it's a good software. Best part is that it has a free version also, which is called QDA Miner Lite, with some restrictions that you cannot do all the exercises analysis. It has got excellent documentation and resources. It has got all video tutorials. If you want to do certain exercise, just go to the website, check, and then go to the video. I'll show you how to do it. It has got the manual. I have already uploaded QDA Miner manual in the LMS. Well, you can have a look at it. So a lot of, and then also those who have done papers, research on different themes using QDA Miner, those are also listed. You can go through those papers, see what they have done, how they have done. So this has got excellent documentation and resources. It also allows teamwork. Suppose a big project is being done. There are 5 researchers are coding. So 5 machines are used. Finally, you have to come to one one project. So that is allowed in QDA Miner. You can actually assign the documents for coding. And then finally, you can combine all those into single project. It has a compatibility with other applications. It can import to a lot of other applications. It can export a lot of other files. And finally, the personal experience, because I have done some exercise. My main thing is not qualitative. I do quantitative more, but I have some experience of working with some teams who have done qualitative analysis. And that's how I learned it. And I also used in some of my projects. Unfortunately, I do not have my sample data. That was quite dated. I do not have my sample data. So what I'm trying to do, I will not be using real data, but I will be showing you the works by hypothetical data. I will show you exactly how it goes. And then you try to relate with your own data and then try to see how it is done. All right, so that's how it goes. That is the first part. All right, and if you have any question up to this, then we can take some questions. Then another half an hour, we will try to maybe share how it is done, exactly how it is done by using QDA Miner. If you have any question, or we can take questions at the end of the session also, whichever is okay with you. Can I go to the exactly how it is done?
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there are a few queries in the chat box, but we think it will be better if we take the questions at the end of the session.
Okay, fine. So first of all, how to get this QDA Miner? You go to Google and then you write QDA Miner and it will take you to the website, the profiles research. This is the website, and you click here and it will open these pages. All right, and then this is the QDA Miner site. All right, it will give you the overview, features, light version, that is the free version, technical information, and so on and so forth, and then some explanation, and then you have to fill up this form. All right, if you want to get a light version, you will get a light version, and if you want to have a trial version is for 14 days, full functional trial version. So more, you can actually use this trial version, which is valid for 14 days. If you have, say, 40, 50 interview transcripts with you, 14 days, you can do the analysis and it is done. So that is how it is possible, that you have to put your name and all these things, email. The link will be coming to your email and then you can download it. All right. So this is the here. And then if you look at the resources, then you will get tutorials, you have manual, you have a forum, like discussion forum. It also conducts training. You can do training from their professional also. The webinars you can attend. Time to time, they have the webinars. And if you look at the tutorials, just see how they have managed it. So you need the QDA Miner tutorial. So you have got all the tutorials for 10 minutes, 7 minutes. So if you want to do certain things, then just click the video and see how it is done. Everything is explained. So it is very excellent documentation is there. So it is very easy to apply. All right. So this is what. So if you forget or something like that, so no worry. You can actually go to the resources and click tutorial, go to the exact video, and then try to do the tutorial. All right. Now, I have already downloaded it. Suppose I will show you, say, QDA Miner light version first. This is the free version. That means light version. All right. So this will come. And this is an opening screen. So you can go down this. It will showcase the functionalities of this QDA Miner. And then once you go through this page, and then it will give you close, and then it close, and then this will come. Now create a new project. So we have to, or open a project. If you have already done half done, you can use this, or create a new project. Now you can create from different sources. Create project from list of documents. I'll show how this is done. What I will do, I'll just show you. I'll just consider. Let me make a folder here. This is how exactly it is done. Say, suppose I call it sample folder where I will have some texts. Now I have conducted, say, 5 interviews. So what I will have? I will have 5 transcripts. All right. So I'll put, say, case 1. This is the first interview. Then I will have the second case. All right. Case 2. Then I will have case 3. Case 3. Then I will have, say, case 4. I'll just have 5, okay? Because I do not have exact data. I'll just case 4 and then case 5. All right? Case 5. Now, I need some text to do some analysis. So randomly what I will try to do, I will have just take some text here. Say, don't go about the text, just see the mechanics of it. Suppose I have some text. I have taken this text to say, this is the transcript of sample file, case 1. All right, this is the case 1. I save it. This is some text transcript from case 1. This is case 2. All right, case 2. Then case 3. These are transcripts of or text or something. Case 3, save, and then some four, and then 5. All right. So I have some 5 transcripts here. Done. So I have some 5 transcripts. I have done interview. I have transcribed it. I have typed it out. All these things. Now I have 5 cases ready with me. I want to do analysis. So I will do QDA Miner. I'll just show you how it is done. So this free edition. And then this will come because free. It has to do its own commercials. So you have to bear with that. Close it. So create project. Now, when you create project, so you have already 5 documents. All right. You can create a blank also, but blank is not normally done. We do the interviews and then we have the transcripts. So create project from list of documents. So a lot of documents are supported, including the the PDF, image file is also done. If you look at it, then you will see that all these documents are supported in QDMI. So whatever is the form, a JPG format, PNG images. So that is how it is done. So we have the document file, we have put it in desktop as a sample. So I have got the case 1 to case 5. I will select all these case 5 and I will take add here and I will create my project. And you can import the location. If you want to image the paid version only, it's a light version image, then you have to have this information and you just okay without doing much. And then you have to give a name within sample. Suppose this is test 1. And then all these files will be imported to your screen. So these are the cases. Look at this window. These are the cases. Case 1 is this one. Case 2 is this one. Case 3 is this one. Case 4 is this one. Case 5 is this one. This page is for code, right hand side code. I can code here. I can create code here and then apply these codes here, or I can read and then simultaneously make the codes and apply. I'll show you how to do it. But this is a light version. So if you look at analyze, these are not paid version only, paid version only. So therefore, a lot of utilities are restricted in the light version. Some very minimal kind of things which are very bare minimum that can be done in the light version. Now, so therefore, what I will do, I will rather than using the light version, I will use the full version, QDA minor. This is a trial version. So message will come. Right. So create a new project, same list of documents. A best part is that you can actually use direct, file from the social media. Suppose if you want to analyze the Twitter, you just give the Twitter link specifying the date, all the data will be captured. RSS feed, the Facebook, Reddit, YouTube data, YouTube video you want to analyze. If you have a SurveyMonkey kind of thing, it can automatically take. So therefore, it is a huge flexibility in taking data for analysis. All right. So I do not have time for all those things, and neither I do all these things. I'm not very confident also. So therefore, I'm not doing this part. Mostly what we do, we have an interview and then transcript it. And then we have documents. And as I have said that we have put it in sample and then we select all the files here and then edit and then create and then okay. And then you have to give a name. So test 2. And this file is created. This is a project file. All right. Now, if you look at analyze, now all these things are available. All right. Everything is available, fully functional. Now, important is that now these are the pages of interview. So these are cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 2, case 5. Now, these are coming from different individuals. So these individuals, we will have to classify those individuals in terms of variables. For instance, suppose we may be interested in looking at the responses coming from male and female. So male, female is a variable. So therefore, you have to create variable here. You just right click it, add variable, and then give a, suppose name sex, all right? And then you describe about it if it is required. And you have to give a data type. It is a nominal variable. You have to give as a male and female. Okay, this is done. Add. Second variable, maybe we may be interested in age. So this is numeric. All right. The numeric. So, okay, it is integer, no decimal. If you want to decimal, you have to specify the decimal here. It's not required. So we'll add here. So we have added. Then residence, for instance, the rural urban. So it is nominal, edit, rural, urban. All right. So we have created some variables, 3 variables. Here, no variables are created. So we have created variables. So now this is created. Now case 1, sex is say male. Male is there. Age is suppose 24, and residence is suppose rural. Now case 2 is suppose female, age is say 36, residence is rural again. Then case 3, sex is suppose female, age is say 54, and residence is say urban. All right. And then case 4, suppose sex, suppose he is saying that I do not want to disclose my the sex. So this is not there. So new value you have got. So other or undeclared. Okay. So this is undeclared. So it is already done. So even if it is there, not there, if you can create new value. Age is suppose 32, and then residence is say rural, and last case is your male, age is 23, and then the residence is urban. All right, so this is how variables are assigned. So what we have done in the first stage, we have taken the cases. Second stage, by the way, I'm showing the very basic. Okay, given the time, we are left with some 10-15 minutes time. So I have to show, it's not possible to show all the utilities, just basic thing that this is possible. We can use software, and it is not a very rocket science. Only thing that you need to have some intuition and then also some creativity. Now, how do you code? Code we will read, suppose, don't go for the meaning, okay? I'll just show you. Suppose this is a study about domestic violence, and I have taken 5 responses, and these are the transcripts of 5 responses. And then I will go on reading that, okay, this is about, this cause is say, they are very poor. So the husband is frustrated, and that is how this domestic violence takes place. So it is, I will say the poor income can be one code, all right? And then I would like to apply it. So this is code. So I will like to apply here code. Code is poor income, and it can come under economic category. Economic, and then for easy understanding, we will make this code red. You can use keyword and description, but that will take time. I will not go to these things. Simply code the poor income. So this code appears here. This thing is a poor income. What is poor income? You can go to a document. This is coded text. You can highlight it. So this part is, I have coded as a poor income. All right. And then I go for, suppose, the political issue, maybe say, this is a divergent political views. So another code is there. So the divergent views, and this is not this thing, economic, but this is political. And then we will have color coded differently here. Okay. So this is divergent views. So this is the code 1, code 2. Now this, when I code, it will create a code book for me here. So economic poor income, political divergent views, and within divergent views, suppose there is another layer, that is the first cycle, second cycle. In the first reading, this is my kind of coding. So I want to go deep into it. Then maybe what I will try to do, divergent views. Within divergent views, I can have some expression that suppose ideology. All right, that is divergent. Within a divergent view, there is ideology. So what I will do, I will apply a different code like ideology, and now this is within political. So there is a subcategory. So we'll / within political. Suppose divergent view, divergent views. I'll give it here, say green. Okay. Ideology. Or under category, you can click here also. Political. Okay. Divergent views, say ideal. Under category, subcategory. Ideology. Ideological position. Now, you can actually make this here. Say, suppose I can move political, this one I can move like this, or you can put it like this. So it is freely possible to recode or restructure or something like that. So it is possible. Now, that is how you just read and then apply the codes. Now, you go to the case 2. Now, again, suppose I find that, okay, this is like, poor income. So I'll just place poor income here. It will be coded as poor income. Divergent views, this category, this case is also referring to this. So we have here ideological position. Suppose this part is ideological position. I'll just put it here, right? Apply ideological position here, or it can be same code within that 2 categories can be also done. So that is also possible. Then again, we will go to case 3. We apply some code here, and then here, and so on and so forth. And then go to case 4, just to save time. Here, and then say case 5, the divergent views, and then ideology, and then this is done. Suppose once we complete this thing, then we are free to now have analysis. I can just show 2-3 things. Suppose if we want to analyze, then coding frequency, what code comes into the play, and then all codes, suppose all codes search. Now it is giving you the frequencies. All right, which code coming from how many times in how many cases, this is there. And suppose if you want to retrieve the cases that where that is there, I'll just just select that part. Suppose I want the ideology and poor income part, and then I will just retrieve the statement. It will also give you the statements where in what line, which code it is there. So this is also the text, and then the frequency part is combined. If you want to have a table kind of thing, you will get also table like this. If you want to convert to say, it is also possible to combine this data with the Tableau, which is a graphical software. And then if you want to have a Power BI, that is also possible. And then a lot of other utilities are already there. So this is the simple kind of analysis which can be done here. Now, this is about the coding frequency. Sometimes coding co-occurrence means that suppose some, how do you categorize those data? Suppose if it is similar, then we will try to put the same codes in under one category. All right. So that is done here. Say, if we do that, and then we will try to see, say, suppose we have all the codes together, and then we will try to use the dendrogram. This will show that how this divergent views, ideology, and poor income is a separate category. It might influence this ideology, but ideology and divergent view are more close. So we can put probably these things together. So this is how you can actually combine the data and then come to the categories. If you have real data, then you will get more excitement. But I'm using some random kind of thing just to show you the utility, how this is done. So this is how it is there. And then suppose if you see suppose link analysis, then you will have the the different links, different concepts and their links will be analyzed. Since it is raw data, so it is not coming as a, say, make it 100%. That means these are the links, conceptual links of those data. That suppose how poor income and ideology texts are similar, how ideology and divergent views are similar. It tries to give you a sense of a idea. Similarly, the proximity, the graph, you want to have the remove ideology, you can remove the divergent views, add different categories and so on and so forth, and then table statistics and how similar it is by color coded heat map. And then if you select and then try to get those things, and you can get it. So, but only thing is that you must understand where link analysis will work, where proximity will work, and so on and so forth. And there are other the analysis also. You can retrieve different formats, the text retrieval. Most importantly, code similarly is a very beautiful the utility where we can actually combine different codes. Same thing, same expression can be used as a similar. And the query by example. Suppose if we have suppose if we put an expression, it will search the similar expression within the text. You give, suppose, I'll just try to give you a expression. Doctors are hesitant. Suppose doctors are hesitant. If we copy this, and then if we try to retrieve this example, doctors are hesitant, sample text, and then search, it will try to provide you the text which will have the similarity, based on the similarity, how similar that expression with the other text, and based on that, you can actually, we'll take that as similar, and then we will code it, we can code this as suppose, say, some code and apply, and then we'll code it here, and this will be coded as the code 1. So therefore, if you have an expression and you have a large body of text, you can provide that as an example, and it will automatically search the similar, the idea or similar texts, and then apply the same code to this. That will actually facilitate, the text coding in a more proficient way. So, and then we have a lot of utilities. I'm sorry that time will not permit us to do all these analysis. And then you can do content analysis also. Here, this part is there, content and statistical analysis. But for that, you have to set up the project like that. And then coding by variable, you can combine variable from here, the male, female wise, how the position varies. Suppose how ideology differs across male and female, that is also possible. So a lot of things can be done by these utilities. I hope that it gives you a sense that how coding is done and how it can be used as a tool to analyze the qualitative data, linking the observation with the theories. We are discussing in the school that probably if we have time, and we can have another round of workshop on practical thing, that how softwares, any one software can be utilized for analyzing the qualitative data. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. I hope that it is useful. And if there is any question, I will be happy to answer those questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session. I'm pretty sure that this session will be very helpful for not only for our participants, but also for us as well. Sir, we can see certain queries from our participants in the chat box. Sir,
Yeah.
I would like to request you to, sir, if you can look.
I'm going through it. All right.
You can respond to.
Can you just go through also, because I might miss.
Okay, sir.
Scenario. The advice include okay. So this is one query coming from Niharika. The one set of data or answer may fall under one or more themes. It can, and this is possible. I have already shown that how this is done. The same expression can be coded with 2 codes. And in the QDA minor, there is an option of code consolidation. You can do it manually, or you can also do automatically. You can rely on the computer to consolidate the codes. That's based on the similarity. Whether you will decide whether you retain 2 codes or merge it to one, or you separate it. That's up to you. So there is a utility called code consolidation, and that can be done. So that will help you. I have transcribed in-depth interviews. Please guide us how to come up with code. I think that I have already shown. Do we code field notes? Yes, we can integrate codes field notes with the codes of interview transcript data analysis. For this, I have to show you the how memo is generated. In the interview transcript, in the right side, when code is done, if you right click, there is an option called memo. And then memo, within that memo, you can actually include those comments coming from the field notes, and then try to integrate those field notes also. There is a possibility. How can we effectively analyze and transcribe the informal focus groups interview participant? This is a very important question. I forgot to mention that since software will recognize the texts, it is extremely important to engage with the correct transcription with correct word. If you change the word, the analysis will change. So there lies the significance of transcription. The language is extremely important. Semantics are very important. Exactly, you have to capture. Unfortunately, our local languages are not supported by any of the softwares, unlike European languages. For instance, suppose if you look at this software, they can handle English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, but not Hindi or any regional language. So you have to translate it. So that's a very big challenge for qualitative researchers using the software. So there you have to be very careful, and you have to retain as much as possible the essence of the expression, which was expressed by the participants. For academic research, I will be collecting observation data along with interviews, doing observation in English, effect analysis in the process. This I have already explained it. Can you suggest us to follow some resource regarding how to write and code field notes? I have already put one manual for coding in the LMS. You can go through it. This is an excellent book by Saldana, published by Sage in 2013. So you can refer to that and you can use that. I normally use that, so I can vouch for that. How can we code with grounded theory methodologies? These are theory part. I'm not going to engage with this. The screen is start. I think that is done. Sir, are there any free software for data transcription? Data transcription softwares are there, but it is very difficult because you have to where you pronounce matters very important. It just becomes very important. So you have to train the machine to recognize your pitch, sound. Dragon speech is one, but it will take some time to train your software to recognize your speech. If it can recognize, then it is okay. You can actually use those transcription, but most of the times they do not recognize and they put wrong words. How are these codes, categories, subcategories created in software? I have shown that. QDA minor in thematic analysis, yes. And then a little praise for me. And then thank you. Thank you. Okay, there's no questions. There's no questions, I guess. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again, sir, for your insightful deliberation. I also want to thank all the participants for their active participation. And with this, we would like to end this session. And our next session will begin at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So I request everyone to join in that session as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. We are ending this session here.